Yo, what up, though, man? Got William King Hollis in the building, man. How you doing?
Man, King, it is an honor to be on your show, man. I heard so many great things about you, King.
Hey, man, you know what? I appreciate it. And, and you taking the time, man. And, I'm definitely honored. Had the chance, to really go down the rabbit hole, to kind of get a feel for you, man. And,
Absolutely.
And how you just inspire, man, and things of that nature. And then also, before we get started, I see you got your book that you got out right now. Tell us a little bit about that book that you promoting.
Man, this book is the story behind that book. Like I said, the cover of this book probably was made 4 years ago. It was at a very, very dark time in my life. It was something that I got created to inspire me and to keep me going, and through the Most High, and just serving my community and my people. My career grew, and it grew to the level that I finally had the ability to travel and see things and learn the lessons that I needed to learn. Specifically, my trip to Kingston, Jamaica.
Okay.
I was invited by the Don, and he just told me to go for everything I want now, because life is short. And I came back, I got to work on the book, and it was done. And COVID came. I went to Kingston and spoke in March, and COVID came right after I landed on the plane, like a day after they had shut down.
Oh, man.
The state. So it was almost like, nah, it's time. We gotta get this book done. It's time now. So that cover was made 4 years ago, man, and it was just made to inspire me, man, just to give me something to look forward to.
So, like, when people read the book, and like, what can we expect to get out of the book?
I gave a spiel of my mental health battle and my triumph through it, how I found my way out of it. I give a little of my backstory about my mother, my father, but this book goes into education.
Okay.
I tell everybody, less of me, more of thee now. It's all about you being able to discover your gift, you being able to speak, you being able to travel the world, even though you're from the projects or you're from the hood or you have learning disability. No matter what, I tell everybody, every single human being on this earth has a genius in them. They have something that they specialize in, something that they are a genius of. And everybody just don't tap into it. So I just believe that what happened with me was I discovered that. I discovered that very thing that changed my life. Like I tell everybody, bro, I never had a dollar, King. I never had a dollar to start this, no marketing, no anything. All I had was my voice. I created my first speech in a shelter, an iPhone voice memo and a pillow in the corner. It's called Young King. Today it's over 2.2 million views. So when I be telling people, man, when I meet great kings like yourself, especially the brothers of my color and my complexion, I smile of happiness, man, because I know how much pain it takes to even have a home and sit at a dinner table. Some of us never even imagined that for ourselves. But to have it and to be in this position right now and in this time, it's a beautiful thing, bro. And I believe going into 2021, a lot of things are going to change. Everybody's afraid. But I believe it's just time for elevation and for people to tap into their true beings and who they are. Yep.
So quick question, because I understand, like, especially Black Americans, a lot of us don't know our heritage.
Absolutely.
This kind of stops at slavery. And so we have to find words to, like, king or God or things of that nature to kind of give us some type of lineage, some type of belonging, or I guess not even something that validates our being. But why did you choose the word king? Because, some people will argue that everybody couldn't be kings and queens. So
I tell everybody, a king and queen is not a king and queen by its crown. It's a king and queen by its bloodline. This melanin, this bloodline is royal in itself. The melanin is worth billions of dollars. We are special, we are amazing, and we do come from royalty. You wonder why we run so fast, we jump so high, we look so handsome, she looks so beautiful. Why our eyes and our eyelashes is long and and our hair back in the day was nice, strong, and healthy before they created all these terrible things to mess our queens' scalps and heads up at a very young age, making us believe that our hair being nappy wasn't beautiful. They made us believe the wrong thing. And the best thing I can sell my people right now, imagine a king walking in the desert. He's walking in the desert and a group of men of the other side kidnap him, put him to sleep, put him in a deep coma. And while he's asleep, he take his gold, his rings, his chains, his crown, his memory. And when he wake up, he doesn't know who he is anymore. That's what you see right now. So when you see King Hollis and you see me, bro, that I'm the man that remembers. I know. I was special education, couldn't read till I was 16. I got people all over the world listening to me. Father was a career criminal. Mama passed of a heroin overdose. First place I ever gave my first speech at was at my mother's funeral back in Pontiac, Michigan. So when I walk out in these streets, King, when I see single mothers walking on that concrete and I can tell they strung out on drugs, it's like I feel the pain. When I'm sitting at McDonald's and I see my black king or my young black king or the old king putting change on the counter and they laughing at them in the back, I'm compelled to give. I don't like seeing us like that.
Got you.
Feel me?
So let's get into the story and the journey, because obviously to inspire, the best people or the best people that are great at inspiring, or even comedians, the best comedians usually are able to pull the inspiration and that comedy from tragedy.
Yes.
So growing up, where did you grow up and what was your upbringing like? I know you just touched on your mom a little bit.
Well, I grew up in Pontiac, Michigan, like a lot of inner city kids in Michigan. But unfortunately, my mother, she had me when she was 15, 16 years old. I turned 16. And when she was younger, she was molested by her father. So at a very young age, my mom abused drugs, but it came from a long background. My grandmother moved from Monroe, Louisiana, started running numbers, then she started selling drugs. She taught all 8 of her children how to sell drugs, how to cook it. My mother grew up around that, grew up in a crazy environment. I was born into that environment, basically grew up in the trap house. I was in the trap house. Sometimes we'll come home, see shrimp on the table. You see crazy things in the hood, expensive things in the hood. And I believe by me growing up around that, I always had to be a man. I realized that I was gonna have to be a man before I became one.
Gotcha.
It made me never wait for anything, because in a house full of people, nobody really could do so much for you like a normal kid had. I had to go get, like, when I was that little kid, you know when you say, you probably ask your mom, like, Mom, I want a bag of chips. Take me to the store. Can you give me a ride to the store, try to get some candy? If that was 10 miles away, Will was walking. He's not waiting for nobody. And I realized, man, that was always my mentality. Wait for nobody, man. So my upbringing, was up and down, man. I knew my mother was on drugs, but we knew we couldn't go to school and say anything. A lot of young kings and queens probably understand what I'm saying right now, because we love mama.
Gotcha.
And for me, King, my mother, the best example I can say is just like Tupac. Even as a crack fiend, mama, you always was a black queen, mama. She used to tell me when I was younger, when I was special ed, she just say, you're not dumb. You know, God just gave you a special gift, but you ain't gonna understand until you become a man. But when you look at William Hollis, you see my mother. I'm my mother's son. I always did it for her just like every other king. And I fought my whole life to save her. As she struggled on drugs, I continued to play ball and do all those other things. And it was always a race against the clock. Until one day I got a phone call and it was like, William, mother passed in the house, in the crack house. Phone from her, phone from her mouth, heroin overdose. And it almost like took me away from who you see today. Like, my dad was a very violent man and I'm the junior, you feel me?
Gotcha.
The bloodline, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. But I learned how to, at that very moment, I had to make a decision if I was gonna let anger and hate rule my life or I was gonna use it for something else. I knew that I didn't want anger and hate to rule my life, and the rest I had to just figure it out on the go, King. So when they call me a motivational speaker, I never thought I was a speaker. All I was just speaking to myself, and the world just happened to hear it.
Got you.
So yeah.
So like with your pops, saying he a violent man, like what I know you said earlier he was a career criminal. So what was your pops like in more detail? Like what was he into, and where do your relationship stand now?
My pops was the type of pops that, he'll pop up at the school when I got in trouble and get a whooping. Probably ain't seen him in about a year.
Oh man.
And get out of jail. Always taught me street rules, loyalty, integrity, and standing on a code.
Gotcha.
He also, I used to see him sometimes come in, black gloves, blood on the shirt, all kinds of stuff. He got bags of hot Cheetos for it, you feel me?
Yeah.
He got the sodas and the hot Cheetos, and this when he was out of jail. Then he was back in California. He was East Side Pueblo, blood.
Okay.
Out in LA. So my pops was jack of all trades, married to Helen Costello. She was one of the designers with Juicy Couture. Okay. Back in the day. I saw my dad literally, we was in the hood, he'd be in Marina Del Rey, California. He was an extraordinary man with an extraordinary gift of a charm, you feel me? And he just taught me how to just watch my surroundings, you know what I mean? Gotcha. Just how to survive. He taught me the survival skills, almost like the movie 300. You feel me? When the daddy left off and he played with his sons, played the sword with his son one more time, and the son had to learn the rest on his own. So that's kind of how it was. So your pops, you grew up in Pontiac. Your pops was on West Coast. He was in. No, he was back and forth. Okay, got you. Yeah. Okay, you touched on the word real quick. You said integrity. Yes. And your pops taught you street code and integrity. And it's always a quote that says that there is an honor amongst thieves. Mm-hmm. If you are if a person is participating in a legal business, mm-hmm. can you actually have integrity, being that you're part of something that's not right in the beginning? See, in the streets, my dad taught me a long time ago, there's no rules in the streets. Integrity doesn't live in the streets. It's only vultures, animals, lions, tigers, and bears. And when you come into that jungle, understand that rules may change every day. And that's when I realized he was like, that integrity has no place right here in the streets. Gotcha. Because a gangster, if you doing criminal activity, you're a target. What you gonna do, call the police? You feel what I'm saying? What you gonna do? So when the police is exit out of it and you can't call the police no more and you in this jungle with these gorillas, it's game over. You feel what I'm saying? Okay, so then the second thing, what you stated was loyalty. Mm-hmm. Again, when you talk about the streets, mm-hmm. and like the statement I said, if you're in legal business, or there aren't any honor amongst thieves, but if you're in shady business, you put shady people in your corner. Mm-hmm. Do you think you can actually achieve? Is it a failure for someone to think that they're going to achieve loyalty in the streets? I believe loyalty is something that's built in grassroots. Mm. Back in the day, in the city in Michigan in general, it used to be kings that grew up together. They was raised together, like came from the same block, and they had different codes. You know what I mean? When it comes to loyalty, I really don't give it out as easy, as most people give it out. I really test individuals. I always test individuals. I'm a studier of the mind. Gotcha. And you would know a loyal individual. And the reason why I keep the people around, I keep around because I never want to be a star or the star. I never want to just be the man. I want my brothers to have and take care of their family. And I feel by exuding that love into your brothers, giving without wanting, just like the streets, for example. Most people, your boy get out of jail, you got the bag, you up, you the man. You probably up 200, 300,000, 400,000, your man fresh out of jail. You give him something to put him back on his feet, but you want to take from him after he gets back on his feet. When the smart thing would have been is you give him that. Let him build something for himself and let him shop with you forever.
That is real.
That's how you put your brother on. That's how you help your brother live. Because no man wants to feel like he's a little baby boy. It's two type of individuals, dog. And every king know this. It's that individual when you pull up to the club, he give you the money before you get out the whip. And it's that individual you pull up to the club, he give you the money in front of all the women at the front of the door. You got to know the difference. You got to know the difference. It's 95% of fake individuals in this world and 5% real. What's your chance of finding that 5%?
It's very low.
Like a needle in a haystack. So you're nothing until proven innocent.
So I'm glad you brought that up because especially here, I don't know if you're familiar with how the hip hop scene is going around here, especially Dallas, Fort Worth. Mm-hmm. It's heavy. We call it op rap.
Oh,
it's very, very, very engulfed on who they're beefing with.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the young kids are engulfed in who their enemies are, riding for their homeboys, and they crashing out. Like I said on one interview, we got some Hispanic artists that's on the upper rise, and now they're beefing with each other about who's a real Mexican or not. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole street code of loyalty and who was really in their corner. What are some identifiers that you can tell? And you just named one with somebody, how they give things to you. Are they giving it to you in private or if they're giving it to you in public to be seen? What's some other tips and tricks other tips that we can look for to see if the people around us is really in our corner?
The number one trick of all, my favorite, take them around women. Take a man around women and see how you act. See what they say. If it's one change, don't mess with them. Take them around women. Women gonna tell you everything. Just what I'm telling you. And then don't even just do that. Let them pick a girl and then you try to go after her when she go to the bathroom or something. But ain't nobody in a relationship there. It's a free game. And watch his demeanor. Watch how you act. That's gonna show you how he gonna react when you get more money than him.
Got you.
You dig me?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So women, I guess you could say women and money are the two
show
things.
You everything. Take them out. With a whole bunch of women, King gonna show you a lot.
But I'll take it one more step further. One of the main reasons we want money is for women.
That's right. That's what's going on. That's what the murder gang. They don't want to admit it, but that, King, you said it. That is what they're shooting for. They're shooting to impress a woman, man. They just want to look the cool, and it's been since the beginning of time, man. Since what's our boy name from Detroit, the legendary gangster Maserati Rick.
Oh yeah,
Maserati Rick. I used to hear this. I used to watch all his goon documentaries, and they used to talk about how the gangsters was fighting over the women. Yeah, they were getting shootouts over the women. They will kill men over the women. Cause you messing with the same woman I got. It all started with the woman. And men, young kings, y'all know we've been saying this from the beginning of time. I know, and you know, you audience listeners, you know somebody right now sitting in penitentiary for a long time for something that could have been resolved, but it's because of a woman. Men that was up, successful, moving, but they threw it all away because of a woman. And I tell kings all the time, at this present time in life, man, what y'all up against an angry woman. And what y'all starting to see is we dog women for so many years, King, they have reversed it. You see kings every day shooting at their girl, crying, acting crazy, acting like they want to commit suicide, because I'm telling you, it's painful to be turned on, bro, and for somebody to be disloyal to you. And kings not used to that. That's why they react so violently. And women don't understand that. We not as strong as y'all. We strong physically. We not as strong emotionally as a woman. A woman is way more stronger than us emotionally. That is a force. When they say a woman, they lying. Because for a woman to lay in a bed with a king knowing he cheated and just been with another woman, and I seen it with my own 2 eyes, that's a strong individual. King, ask yourself, can you do it?
Nope.
I know, King. I know, King. I know, King.
Not at all.
I know, King.
So, like, what's your speeches? And do you call them speeches? Like, do you have a special word for it, or do you just go with speeches? That's cool?
Yeah, I guess say words from the heart, because I don't write speeches. I just speak from the heart.
Got you.
Yeah.
Like, and I saw the one. I guess this was the one you was talking about earlier, because I think